Hello and welcome to Writersmelon. I'm Priyanka, and today we have a very special guest. His name is Krishna Dhan Das, and you have written a book called Launch Your Life to the Next Level. So, namaste, a very big,
Namaste.
very warm welcome to Writersmelon. Yes, please tell us about your book. What exactly is the message, and how can we really step by step improvise or improve our lifestyle in today's day and age?
Yeah, basically the book is about improvement. Basically, it's a mindset that needs to be cultivated. Many a times we get trapped in our routine lives, and just to give an example, if some swimmer is swimming against the current of the river, then the swimmer has to take a lot of efforts to go against the current. The moment swimmer stops putting any efforts, he will be carried away, swept away by the currents of the water.
Right.
Similarly, we always have to strive hard to improve and go on with our life. As they say, something is thrown down, the gravity will act on that object and the object will fall down.
Mm.
Similarly, if we are not taking efforts to rise high, then actually we are gliding down. So, no matter who you are and what you do, everyone should seek improvement in their life. And then the question remains how to improve. So, basically, I have given a framework of what we call it 5.5S. You must have heard about Kaizen. Kaizen is a
Yes.
Japanese word which is used frequently in multinational companies, corporate world, which means basically continuous improvement. They're improvising their job through usage of various tools. They call it TPS tools, Toyota Production System tools. And when I was working with HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited Manufacturing Division, then there also I participated in some Kaizen events wherein I could practically see improvements happening. So my book begins with that. So the point is, when we want to improve, let us take an example of someone who wants to get up early in the morning and start doing yoga, or walk for that matter, go for a walk. So if I have a regular habit of getting up at 8 o'clock, let us say in the morning, and I decide to get up early after hearing some motivational talk or reading some good book, and I decide to wake up at 4 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, let us say. So for 1 or 2 days, I will be able to do that,
Yes.
but it will
Yes.
not be long lasting. Therefore, many times people complain, they have this question, burning question in there. I start something, but I can't continue on that plan.
Absolutely.
And therefore, the some philosophers they say, no New Year resolutions. 90% of them are never new. What you have resolved last year, you resolve the same thing this year also because you were unable to continue for a longer period. So, what one should do to make those changes sustainable, they will live longer and they will take your life where you dream yourself. So that can happen when we follow a particular set of process, a framework for improvement, and that is written in the book.
So where does one get this motivation? Because, like you said, it is so hard to stay motivated. I mean, we all try and get motivated once in a while. We implement it, but what is the way to sustain that motivation? How can one, and how does it work according to you?
See, just by hearing some fiery speech, reading some motivational book, um, that is something like when I am sick, I have to take some external medicines, right?
Right.
So these things will act as a medication. But prior to that, why I am sick? Is it because my immunity is weak? So when we talk about motivation, the greatest motivation is actually building up your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we ask this question, why I'm sick. Similarly, we should ask this question, why am I doing this? And when you have a proper answer for that why, you will always be motivated.
Yeah.
And I have given example of Lata Khare in my book. You might be knowing she won uh, first prize in running, and she was
Mm-hmm.
basically an old lady, typical sari wearing old lady from Maharashtra, and
Mm-hmm.
her husband was actually sick, and
Mm-hmm.
she needed some money to treat him, and she was penniless, and she was just eating samosa outside the hospital, and she happened to read that in the newspaper, Baramati marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So she went there, and they didn't allow her first, but she insisted that I want to
Mm-hmm.
participate. And what was the
Mm-hmm.
motivation? To bag the first prize so that I can get money, and then I can later treat my husband.
Okay.
So she participated, and she not only ran, but she won the match. Whoever the competents, they were taking training, they were wearing shoes like that. She was not having any shoes, never undergone any training, but she won the match because she had a higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So that purpose actually motivates us. So we need to find that purpose in our life. Basically, when we do, as I usually say this as why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
When we have this question, so therefore there is a separate chapter in my book called as three golden questions,
Mm-hmm.
which one need to ask oneself: what am I doing? How am I doing? And why am I doing this? When we answer these three questions, what am I doing? When we answer this, what am I doing? Basically, we are coming in present,
Mm-hmm.
right? It brings you in present. How am I doing? It will improve the methodology by which you are doing the task. And then lastly,
Why?
why am I doing? It will connect you to your core purpose. And when you are connected with your core purpose, you will always be motivated. You don't need external sort of motivation. You can obviously seek help from these external tools, but we can't be always dependent on them, because motivation also is like what we can say is dependent on some things, uh,
Right.
like I don't have a mood to do exercise
Mm-hmm.
today. So if I depend on my mood, then no matter how much motivation I will not do. So
Right.
therefore we call it, a schedule based. No matter what,
Hmm.
we do it on that particular day, on that particular time, you do that activity.
Right.
So forget motivation. Basically, depend on your action. What
Correct.
is your action plan for that?
Correct.
And that can be laid down by this simple framework which I have mentioned in the book.
Right.
Begin with small things, start small,
Cri-
like that.
Yeah, Krishnaji, since you talked about purpose, my question would be for you personally, how easy or how difficult was it for you to find a purpose? And give me an example of purpose, because I hear this a lot that you should find your purpose, you should have a purpose, and when you have a purpose, life becomes easy. Your actions are around your purpose, your motivations are taken care of. But give me an example of purpose. What is a purpose in our day to day in our day to day life, and how did you find your purpose, and what is your purpose?
Purpose is basically the driving force within you, which drives you to do a particular thing, and
Okay.
which is oriented towards something higher in your life.
Okay.
uh, you are asking for an example. Just now I narrated the story of Lata Khare.
Hmm.
uh, she had a purpose. That purpose was to take care of her husband at any cost.
Hmm.
Her purpose was not running and win the marathon, but to take care of her husband. And basically, purpose is not something,
It's not a
as
goal.
people
Is
people
it? Is it
people
a
usually
goal?
say, yeah, yeah. It's not related to goal per se.
Hmm.
It's related to maybe whatever you do, there is a reason behind doing that. And just to give another example, John F. Kennedy, when he was the president of USA, he went to visit NASA, and there he happened to ask a janitor, what are you doing here? And the janitor, replied simply, I'm helping put man on moon.
Hmm.
I'm helping the mission of putting man on the moon. Now,
Hmm.
janitor was just sweeping a floor somewhere. What he was doing, someone would have replied, I'm just sweeping the floor.
Hmm.
But when he aligned whatever whatever task he was doing, when he aligned with a bigger mission, for a bigger purpose, then that became his purpose, and that purpose then is driving his work. That is giving him satisfaction. Our attitude towards what we do makes us satisfied or dissatisfied.
Right.
If his attitude would have been, "Arey kya kare, I have to do that,
Hmm.
no choice," then he would be frustrated. Now see his, words. He was saying that I am helping in the mission of making man land on moon. So he is
He's connecting
uh,
with the higher purpose of his.
connecting with the higher purpose,
Yeah.
and that has become a purpose for him. So that is basically purpose, to help someone.
What is your
And
purpose? What is, how do you define your life goal, and how will you describe your life journey? How did you take this path of joining ISKCON, or spreading the wisdom or the knowledge? How has been your journey like, and what is your purpose? What is your goal?
my journey, I was living a commoner life. I was working with HL, drawing a good amount of salary. But somewhere, as they say, pinprick, hmm, pinprick was there. I came in contact with the message of Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic wisdom texts, and there was this constant thought in my mind that I should do something for the betterment of society, for the betterment of society. Uh, and obviously, with money you can do a lot, but that is not the only thing. I was drawing a good salary. Maybe I could do some charity with that, or maybe
Mm,
do something.
mm, mm.
But the greatest charity, as they say, is the
It's a
charity of
service.
knowledge. Yeah, and the service to mankind. So I was there was constant pinprick, and I was always motivated to do something like that, of that sort. And I had this pinprick, I had this mission in my mind, and as they say, individual versus institution. So there was an
Correct.
institution who has given me a philosophy of life, and the institution is like a bigger river,
Mm,
flowing in one direction, and then in between there are so many tributaries, water trickles joining that river. So I
right.
was like an individual finding some purpose in my life. I came in contact with this big river, and then as you said, when you have a purpose, your life becomes easy. So
Mm,
for that tributary,
mm,
individually to reach to the ocean is very difficult.
mm.
But when that tributary just joins the river, then it becomes very easy.
That's
Immediately the river
got it.
can reach the ocean. So I joined here, and then I could really deal with life problems of the people. Some people ask me, "What is your profession now?" I call my profession to be like a life engineer. I was mechanical engineer before. Now I am a life engineer, dealing with lives of people, helping them grow, helping them understand their purpose better, like that. Yes.
Very nice. When people like you speak, it feels like you just go on listening, because it's always feels like it's coming from some kind of very special experience. It's not something that is just by reading things. You have really experienced or felt the knowledge that you are now distributing, or the things that you want to share. So there's a big difference between just consuming the knowledge and actually realizing it, and then trying to distribute it the way monks do. So I mean, in sessions like this, it feels very difficult to ask a lot of questions. It feels like you just go on listening uninterrupted and let this person just go on saying something. And I'm sure your book will also have those aspects. What I can currently highlight from the books is that it has inspiring stories, some action oriented things that can help you shape your day-to-day life, concepts from Kaizen. So it looks like you have really applied a lot of your education, also, like you mentioned, from being a mechanical engineer to a life engineer. So it's very fascinating. And anything that you would like to share about the current social structure, where people are so busy, people lead a very very isolated life, I would say, especially because of the digital technologies. I mean, everything is at your fingertips, but still at some point you feel that there is nothing. There is a feeling of this nothingness that is so prevalent these days, especially after pandemic, and especially because of so much of digitization. So what would be your suggestion for coping mechanisms when you feel these kind of emotions, that although everything is there, everything is available, but still there is this feeling of emptiness or loneliness, or a sense of a vacuum, so to say. So how do you address these issues?
Yeah, what you are saying is very correct actually, and the age in which we are living and going through is really a challenging age, wherein success is defined by likes and the comments and shares people talk about. Uh, but the real life, and as they say, no, the real life and the real life, they are two different lives actually. So people, they are just living in the real life, these days,
Hmm.
just on these gadgets with social media platforms, having lot many connections. But I'll say they have so many connections with other people.
Hmm.
LinkedIn people write in their profiles, having 25K connections. This is someone's profile, description of a profile. So people bother so much about connections, but I rather tell such types of people that there are three types of connections one should seek.
Hmm.
One is connection with your own self.
Hmm.
Second is connection with others, and then the third is connection with the Supreme Lord, who is the source of all life.
Right.
So connection with ourselves means basically, are you aware of your emotions? What kind of emotions I am going through? Uh, if all gadgets are withdrawn from me, can I live happily and peacefully? What am I doing today? Is that only for my making living, or really am I living a life worth living? So basically, our connection with your own self. What are my desires? What are my wants? Basically, what is being called in today's genre is self-awareness, I'll say. So are we aware of ourselves? Now people get angry immediately. So are they aware of their own anger? That need to be
Hmm.
understood. So connection with your own self will make you understand yourself better. And once you understand yourself better, then you can improve your life. Second is connection with other people. Connection with other people basically means going deep into relationships.
Hmm.
In today's age, people are like, uh, just socially connected,
Superficial.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Superficial. It's just a
Yeah.
superficial connection.
Hmm.
There is no substance in it. Someone doesn't like my post, uh, doesn't mean that that person is my enemy. But
Yeah.
people start relating in that way today. So there is no substance in the relationships. So that should be sought. Basically, one-to-one interactions, and meeting people personally, and as they say, soul searching talk. So
Mm.
having them, so that is basically connection with the people. And then the third is connection with the Supreme Lord, maybe through meditation techniques. As they say, prayer is a way to connect with God.
Mm.
So that sort of connection. And when you have a proper connection at all these three levels, then you can experience some level of satisfaction in your life, some level of
Right.
peace and happiness in your life. If all
Right.
these three connections are superficial,
Mm.
then that kind of void, that kind of loneliness, that kind of meaninglessness will come in life.
Okay.
And that makes your life maybe a sort of boring. Because
Mm.
why someone will commit suicide?
Mm.
Because there is no self worth. I'm worthless
Mm. Mm.
and there is no point living. Then only
Mm.
someone will do that. But when someone is self connected, I'm totally in control of my life. I'm so well connected with society. I can contribute so much. I can do so much for the people. People
Mm.
lives are dependent on me. So there
Mm.
will be a sense of satisfaction that I am able to
Correct.
do something for these people. And
Correct.
when that higher connection is there, I can share that love of God with others
Mm.
through the spirit of service. So when we are really connected at all these three levels, we have this three pin plug. So when that three pin plug, when these three are properly connected, then actually there is a lot of self worth. Then there is a lot of what we can say, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of contribution, a sense of well-being is there, a sense of purpose will automatically come in that three point connections. So that makes your life, I'll not say easy, but that makes your life happy and sublime.
Right.
It's not that challenges will go away from your life. No, challenges will be there, but you will have a maturity to deal with those challenges.
Right. So, like you said, you will develop a maturity to deal with that situation. So, what, according to you, should be the approach when someone is faced with difficult situations? Because nowadays the economy is going in such a direction. I mean, I've been speaking to a lot of friends back in India. Their jobs are in jeopardy. A lot of people go through personal turmoil because of their careers not going in the right way, or irrespective of that. So how should one start dealing with it after, let's say, they have processed this kind of loss or this kind of shock in their lives? So I think the initial few moments, they are not able, I mean, most of them are not able to take any advice, right? I mean, when a person is ready to take any advice or any feedback is only after that person has processed that loss or grief or failure or whatever. So what would be your suggestion or advice to such people who are going through difficult times and would want to overcome it, but they are not in that space where they can really hear any hear any motivation, so to say? Because motivation is like so available these days. I mean, if you just go online and you type something on YouTube, there would be like so many videos, so many people talking about it. Instagram is also in a way filled with so much of motivational talks. But what if someone is just not able to absorb that motivation? And how what would be the first few steps to really start connecting?
Yeah. So yes, people are going through so many turmoils in their lives, maybe related to career, maybe related to family issues, loss of a dear one.
Yes.
Uh, First of all, they need to find all these three connections. Am I connected to myself first? Why are these emotions rising in me? And first of all, we need to understand that the place wherein we are living, the place is meant for that. You know,
Hmm.
we are going to expect challenges. We are going to expect difficulties on this path. What we have chosen when we are living in this world, everyone, as you said, there are no free lunches. You have to pay
Correct.
the price. So we are living here in this world. There are going to be challenges. First of all, we need to find out. Uh, there are two things. One is things you can manage and control, change, and there are certain things which are beyond our control, right?
True.
So when the things are within my control, Stephen Covey calls it circle of influence and circle of concern. So circle of
Exactly.
influence means I can have some level of control. So what can I control to be self-aware? I can I can start meditation. I can do some yoga. I can do some self-awareness exercises. Start doing it. As you said, there is a lot of knowledge available, but my library is full of books. Doesn't mean that uh,
I have
I'm
absorbed it.
a well versed person. No,
Yes.
even a single page of information, when I apply that practically,
Mm.
then that makes me actually knowledgeable person. So
Right.
start applying what you have learned in a small
Right.
small ways. Uh, let's say gratitude. What we have got. When we are grateful, basically all these negativity, these
Mm.
peaks in our life because we don't exercise gratitude much. The
Correct.
moment we start exercising gratitude, eh, I do some kind of exercises, and when I tell people, write three things you are grateful for today,
Mm.
write three things you are grateful for yesterday, and write
Mm.
three things in general you are grateful for your life. They have
Mm.
to scratch their head. Oh my
Yes.
God, what is this? What a question. As if
Yes.
uh, as if something bigger has fallen on their head. It, actually, they have to, and some negative things we easily, uh, tell some name of negative people in your life, and people will write essays on that. So we become
That's
so
true.
naturally flown towards negativities. So
Mm.
similarly, we need to put some efforts in to gather more positivity, and that can
Absolutely.
happen when we are more grateful for what we have in our lives. And there are so many things actually in our lives that are positive.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
when we start exercising some gratitude exercises, a mindful living, some pranayam, some meditation, that will make you more self-aware. That is talking about the self connection. Regarding connection with others, my mentor once told me, when you try to solve someone else's problem, you forget your problem.
Yes.
So connection with others means help others,
Mm.
serve them. Through service, we can
True.
connect with others. So am I feeling the loss of the person because of my selfish agenda, that the person is no more available for me to exploit? Or is
Mm.
it because I can't offer my services to this person now?
Mm.
This we need to check.
Correct. Correct. And most of the
And
times it
last,
is the former that we are grieving for, right?
yeah, most of the times it's the former. It's the former. That is the pathetic situation actually. The more selfishness,
Yes. Yes.
the more crippled we become and the more negative
Yes.
we become. The more selfless we become, you immediately experience the relief and the joy.
Yes.
And lastly, the connection with Supreme Lord,
Yes.
there is a very nice prayer. Oh Lord, uh, give me the strength to bear those things in my life which I can't change, and give me the power to change the things which I can change.
Right.
So, as I said, circle of influence, we can do something, and there are some things which we can't do about. We
Yes.
can't
Since you're
that
talking of circle
someone,
of
yeah.
influence, I just wanted to show there is actually this posted. I think I can't show it. It actually has this drawing of circle of influence and circle of. I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
had
I can
this.
see that. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
So when you said, I quickly, because in my desk there are a lot of post-its that I keep, and the moment you said, my eyes went to this posted, and It was written the same. I think because my background is blurred, people cannot read it completely, but you could see it.
Yeah,
But
so
yes.
nice habit, Priyanka. So nice
Yeah,
habit you
I
have
just
at home
keep
time.
writing whenever I like. Now also, after talking to you, I have so many things that are that have really struck me. So all I'm going to do is just put a post-it in front of my eyes, so that I can keep reading it, or so that it reminds me to keep these three connections alive. No, that's one of the
Right.
biggest takeaway from what you just said. Yes. Anything to end this conversation that you would like to say, or any special thoughts that's coming in your mind right now? I try to keep this conversation very spontaneous and around your book. I hope I really enjoyed talking to you. I hope you also enjoyed it. And I hope people who listen to this conversation when we share it also get benefited out of it, because uh, and also take something and apply it in action. I think it's all about that. I mean, there can be so much absorption of knowledge, but if it is not realized, if it is not put into action, then there is no use of that knowledge, is
Yeah,
what I feel.
true. We talked very less about the book basically, and
I
there
think
is a
you are the book,
yeah,
right?
it
I
is.
mean, what you embody is the book. So that's what I
Yeah,
feel, because it's your voice, it's your realization. But yes, anything special, anything you want to tell us about your book, your experience writing this book, please feel free to share.
nothing like that. Nothing like that. Basically, this book is outcome of my desire to help people grow.
True.
I had a strong desire that I keep my area of interest is basically keep learning some new technologies and new things in current genre, and also study our Vedic texts
Hmm.
and correlate them and present in a way that people can understand. Like Vedic
Right.
texts are there at their places. People don't know Sanskrit. People don't know their
Correct.
language, and they say they are like now
Very complicated to understand.
irrelevant,
Yes.
irrelevant basically. But when we present them in the way they can understand, understand means not in the sense of language, but
Hmm.
understand in the terms of application and relevancy,
Right.
then actually these books become alive, as they say, when you live by a book, the book becomes alive for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they're not just pages. And basically this book, as I mentioned, this is outcome of basically many people have these questions, how to improve, and this consistency problem. I take a vow, I'll do this, and then I'm not able to do. I want to
Yes.
improve, but I can't improve, and like that, so many like common questions. And I said, okay, there is not going to be a common answer for all the problems or all the
There's no
questions,
short
but
answer.
yeah, there's no short answer. But there can be a good framework. So this book
Yes.
acts like that framework which can be used as a template. And according to you, select your problem and then apply these tools. Try to apply at the end of every chapter. I've given some exercises. That
Yes.
you
Yes.
write down. You write down what you have to select first of all. What you want to improve. You select, and
Hmm.
then you apply those tools. Start small, schedule like that. Surrounding, as
Hmm.
you said, very nicely. You put those posters, stickers. So basically,
Yes.
eye level is the buy level, as they say in the market. When you look at something, then it sticks in your mind. So, so like that, how do you change your surrounding for your success? And
Hmm.
lastly, basically seeking help of those people, around you.
Hmm.
There, people are there to help you. And lastly, I have concluded with a verse from Bhartrhari, and which
Hmm.
I would like to tell you, while concluding our discussion. There are three types of people.
Sure.
Okay, lower level people, middle people, and the higher level people. It's called Nicha, Madhyama, and Uttama in Sanskrit.
Okay. Okay.
So the lower level of people, the poet says, prarabdhate na khalu vigna bhayana nichaihi. The lower grade people are those seeing the difficulties, they don't even start the journey of their improvement. Oh my
Hmm.
God, this difficulty may come up, so let me not start. So the lower grade people are those who don't even start their journey.
Hmm.
Then he comes to the middle level. Prarabhyate kholu vigna bhayani niche. Prarabhya vigna vihita viramanti madhya. Madhya. Madhyam means middle level people are those who take on the journey of improvement, but because of so many obstacles in their journey, they quit, they give up.
Hmm.
And lastly, there are Uttama. Vignay punah punarapi pratihanyamana prarabdhamuttama jana na parityajanti. The poet says that the higher level, the Uttama, top grade people are those, they have already started the journey. They face obstacles, but they don't give up. No matter how many obstacles come in their way, they will not quit. They will not give up their journey of improvement. So we all fit somewhere amongst these three, you know.
Yes. I think
Someone is not at
some days we are at the Uttama, some days we are at the Madhyama, and some days we are at the so it's
bottom.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to like put somebody in a box. I think it's also like the
Right, right,
time is like a
right,
cycle. So sometimes
right,
it's
right.
a good time when
Yeah.
you're able to
Sometimes we are Uttam, sometimes we
yes,
are in between, and
yes. I
even in a time of a day, you know, morning we are different, afternoon we are
yes,
different, evening we
yes,
are different.
exactly.
In our life phase, we are different, days we are different, right? Absolutely correct. We just need to see that how I can be Uttam in uh, at every moment and in every area of my life.
I think I can target the Madhyam to begin with. Even if we are at Madhyam for most of the times, like if the average is like good, I think then also
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine, and then
yeah.
you can think of getting a distinction or getting a first class.
True, true. Step by step improvement journey can be. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Krishna
Very
ji.
done.
You really cheered me up for the day, and it was very nice talking to you. And I'm going through your book, and I hope your framework and all the exercises that you mentioned there would be helpful, will make me more productive. And I hope those who listen to this conversation will also take away some very interesting insights out of it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the lively and lovely talks.
Thank you. Thank
I
you. Bye
really
bye.
enjoyed sharing. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.